What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Hasbro Retro Headmaster Highbrow, Weirdwolf, and Skullcruncher. So these are Walmart exclusives, and you can pick these up right now. They're just available in store. And I was lucky enough to find these. I figured, let me check these out. And I've been looking at the other Headmasters as well. I decided to do all three as one review just to not stretch it out. And also, these are smaller figures, so we can probably cover them together. But with that being said, I'm going to try to go pretty quickly through each one. And so you might see things a lot faster than you normally do on my channel. So with that, let's start off with Highbrow. So here is Highbrow in his vehicle mode. This is how he comes in the box. And he's got some nice detail. He's got some nice silver paint here, yellow here, a little bit of blue paint here on the top. This lighter blue with the tampoed Autobot symbol, and then some silver. Here's the back. Pretty nice overall. These do spin. They do collide if you try to spin them at the same time, but they just barely miss each other. You can open up this cockpit here. It's got that nice translucent look. And of course he comes with the Headmaster. His head is painted with a little bit of silver. The rest is just plastic, and here's the head. We'll look at more in the robot mode. Go ahead and stick him in the cockpit and he can fly around. You can also take these guns, and actually it makes sense to kind of leave them in, but you're going to put those into the wings. And so there's actually a peg right here, even though that looks like part of the gun. That's what you're going to peg it into, onto the side, just like that. And then this is supposed to be a landing gear. It doesn't roll or anything, but it's mimicking a landing gear. So you've got one on each side, 1, 2, and then there's a third one up here that you're going to pull down from the front. So then you get 3, and then he can sit on those landing gear. It does look really nice. All in all, pretty good looking vehicle mode. Quick size comparison, there he is with Twin Twist. Looks appropriate, and this is from the Titans Return line where they had these Headmasters to begin with, so looks good. All right, let's get him transformed into his robot mode. Relatively simple. Go ahead and unpeg the arms from the side. That'll allow you to take these legs. These legs are just pegged in together, so you can basically unpeg them from each other, and that's going to allow you to take the entire leg and accordion that down. Same on this side, accordion that down. Rotate to the front, and then you're going to push this back up into his abdomen there. Push that all the way in. It should just have a stopper there and peg in. Let's see. This is messed up. Okay. So that's the legs all done. Let's work on the upper body. So you can unpeg these from the arms and just set those aside for now. They do peg in pretty tightly. Go ahead and fold out the hands. Now the hands are supposed to sit down, but they don't lock in, so you can push it to the outside and then it kind of sits outwards. But that's your choice. I like to be locked in, so I leave it out like that. Go ahead and come to the back here. You're going to fold this panel down, and that's going to sit on his back. Fold up the landing gear if you haven't already. Come to the front here, and you can push down on this, and that's going to kind of make the chest pop out like that. Just gives him a different look in the robot mode. Oh, you're going to come to the bottom here. I forgot about these. Flip out the heel spurs. That helps him stand a little bit better. And lastly, you're going to take the Headmaster. Make sure you have the arms all the way back like this. Fold up the legs. And you're going to get it so that the head is facing forward. So I always stick it in that way and then rotate the head around. Unfortunately, this one doesn't really sit that well. So I've tried the other direction as well. And neither way seems to sit very securely. He's a little bit loose there. But there you go. There is Highbrow in his robot mode. You can take the guns, and those can go in his hands. It does have painted handles there. These are a little bit loose in the hand, but you can kind of give it a firm push. You can see he's a bobblehead. I really don't like that. I did check with T-Man, who did a review on this original figure, and it had the exact same problem, same issue. The head doesn't fall out or anything. The guns are a little bit loose, but because it's a little bit loose, it's harder to pose that head. As far as articulation, the head rotates all the way around. Because of the bobblehead symbol, it goes up to there, down to there, a little bit of side to side. The shoulders go up to there on this joint, so there's a inner joint and then there's an outer joint here. Rotation at the elbow. And then I told you about the wrist earlier. The wrist can go up to there. No rotation at the waist and no ab crunch. Actually kind of surprised by that. The legs go up to there, back to there, out to there. You get a more than 90-degree bend because of the mold. You can get it past 90 degrees, and then this heel spur can bend. No ankle tilt on this guy or any of these guys, really. This was kind of before they started using ankle tilts in their robots. So all in all, pretty nice looking robot mode. Let's move on to the next robot. So next we have Skullcruncher. So he's in this alligator mode. He does have some nice paint. So on the head you've got these teeth that are painted. Let's open this up so you can see the inside of his mouth. It is painted black for the tongue, and then the teeth are painted the silver. That's really nice. And that's about as wide as you can get it open. The claws are painted here with that silver. More paint back here. You can open up this panel here. It's a little bit tricky, but it's like kind of a rubbery plastic. And you can take the Headmaster. So here's the Headmaster. And let's see, his name is Grax. I always forget these names. He's got gold and red on the head and then on the back, which we'll look at more in the robot mode. Same colors. He does fit in this little cockpit here. He's got to get his legs under. So actually, I think you want to bend his knees. That might fit. Yeah, so that fits a little better. There he is inside. Go ahead and close that panel, and now he can ride around in Skullcruncher. Oh, pretty good looking. You do have some paint on the back here. You have I guess a faux gun. Not really. It's really a handle for that tail. Articulation wise, the head moves up and down and left and right. You can move the arms in and out, and then these claws can move up and down, but that's mostly for the transformation, but you can move those. These legs just rotate here and they go in and out just a little bit. So you can get, something like that, kind of with his legs all the way out. The tail does waggle about that much. Oops. For comparison, there he is with the Titans Return Twin Twist. So you can see how they scale. Now let's get Skullcruncher transformed into his robot mode. Again, another simple transformation. Go ahead and take the tail, set that aside. And we're going to open up the head. I guess you could have used this for articulation too if you wanted to. You could pull the head upwards so you can get it higher than it would normally go. Take this, fold that back. We're going to take these legs, and those are going to unpeg from here and fold back it out. And you should get it all the way down and then peg it in. You'll feel it click like that. Go ahead and take these, and these are just going to sit on the back of his legs like that. They'll just kind of groove into there. There are no heel spurs, but there is a toe, so you're going to flip down the toe, and that's kind of the legs all done. Next, we're going to take his arms and bring them downwards, fold up these paws, and then flip out the hands. And same on this side. Fold down the arms, flip up the paw, fold out the hand. I do wish these would, kind of solidify, but they don't. And he doesn't have heel spurs, so you kind of have to lean him forward or angle his feet outwards. Otherwise, he tends to lean backwards and fall. This does peg in back here, so make sure you have that pegged in onto his back. And of course, the finishing touch for this guy is his Headmaster. So go ahead and take his Headmaster and fold up his feet. Make sure the hands are straight. And then again, this one is the other way around, so you want the head facing forward. The other one for Highbrow seemed to be better if it was backwards. But rotate the head, and there you go. There is Skullcruncher. Now you can't take this. So you can use this side, get that pegged in to his arm. So, or if you don't like that look, you can use it in his actual hand as a little weapon, although it's a little bit weird. Or you can put it this way. I think this looks a little bit better, honestly. Having it in his hand like this, kind of like a weapon, even though it's his tail. That looks much better. He also comes with this white gun here. So you can put this, again, you can put this kind of anywhere. This one does seem a little bit loose in the hand, but that is the way it comes. So let me just set this aside and let's take a look at his articulation. So articulation, he has the head on the Headmaster a little bit side to side. He does rotate all the way around. Not much up and down because of the shape of his head. These shoulders go, again, up on those joints, and then not much on this inner ball joint, but you do get a little bit of a butterfly joint, which is kind of cool. Just a little bit. You have rotation at the bicep. Single jointed elbow gets you 90 degrees. No rotation or anything at the wrist, although it does go inward for the transformation. Rotation at the waist on this guy, at least. You have the legs go up to there, back to there, out to the side, rotation at the thigh. I don't know if I mentioned the rotation of the thigh on the Highbrow. You get a single jointed knee, but it tends to pop out this joint, so you just kind of have to hold this. But you get 90 degrees out of that. And nothing at the ankles, back and forth. So overall, a pretty good looking bot. He does have some paint here. The silver on the chest with the red and then the white background. That looks really nice. Obviously the face is painted that gold and red. That looks nice. And that's pretty much it. I guess you have some paint on these feet. I do like this detail, tampo detail they have that was in the beast mode. I think that looks nice. So that's really it for Skullcruncher. Let's now take a look at Weirdwolf. And there is Weirdwolf in his beast mode. Let's take a quick 360. He's actually pretty cool looking. He's got some nice detail. He's got the tampos here and there, some red paint here. Here's the back, relatively clean. There's the front. You got some blue paint here and there. And then for the head, which is probably the most detail, you got some silver underneath that chin there, and then you got the red eyes. If you open up the mouth, you got that silver teeth and mouth, which is pretty nice. I was kind of surprised by that. And you got a little bit of that red paint, or I guess maroon paint up here, which is interesting. You can open up his cockpit here. It's a little interesting because there's actually two. There's another panel down here, and maybe that's meant more for the robot mode, but it opens up here as well. So you can kind of choose, but its intent is to open up this panel. And here is his Headmaster. He's got a little tiny bit of red paint. Here's the head we'll look more at in the robot mode. Go ahead and get him situated like that in there, and now he can ride around in his Weirdwolf. And here is the gun. So this one has that little gimmick. If you wanted him to, you can take him out of here. You can take this gun, set that on there, and then you can put Headmaster in here too, if you prefer. I don't prefer. I like having him inside, but your choice, your toy, you can do what you like. Alright, so let's go over articulation on this guy. The head does rotate all the way around. You get a little bit of side to side. It doesn't go up, but if you take it off of this panel, you can get it, much higher up. The mouth does opens all the way up to there. And that closes again. The shoulders are on a ball joint, so you get in and out on there. Rotates all the way around. You get a bend at the elbow that gets up to there. Rotation at the elbow. And then the paw is on a ball joint that goes up to there, down to there, and then rotates. So quite a bit of movement on there. Here for the hind leg, you've got this ball joint, so it can go all the way out to there, back and forth all the way. You have this panel, which is really a cover down panel, but you can move it around if you need to for different looks. You have a bend here at the knee, well past 90 degrees. You have another bend here at the ankle, and then you have another bend at the toe. It's on a ball joint, so the ball joint goes back and forth and up to there and down to there. And for a size comparison, there he is next to the Titan's Return Top Spin, or Twin Twist. And I don't know, scale is really hard to say here, but there's a scale comparison. All right, now let's get Weirdwolf transformed into his robot mode. Go ahead and take this gun off and take the headmaster out and just set those aside for now. We'll take care of those in a little bit. Go ahead and work on the arms first. So fold this paw up, rotate the hand around, flip up this panel here, and you can get this hand rotated out. Close up the panel. Same with this side, rotate this up, flip this around, fold out the hand, close up the panel. And your arms are basically done. Go ahead and flip this head out. Don't peg it in all the way because we're going to need to do some stuff back here. So open up this panel here and open up this front panel here. This is all painted, by the way. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So just be careful because there is a lot of paint. Now that you've done that, you're going to pull this panel out, and that's going to accordion up and in. You can pull these legs down. Accordion that up and in to the inside of his chest here. And that's going to peg right back in like that. Right, now you can close this back down, close this back down. Take the legs, straighten them up. You're going to pull these panels down and accordion them down onto the knees. You can pull the tail out too. By the way, in the box, it doesn't come with this installed, so you do have to install this on his back here. Same with this side. Go ahead and rotate, accordion that down. Come to the bottom here, flip out his heels. There's a little tab for you to grab onto. Same on this side. Get him situated, take the head, peg that into the back. So it should sit like that. And lastly, we're going to take his head, master. Go ahead and take that. And again, it works best if you have the face aiming forward. So I like to put it like that and then rotate it around. At least I think it works best. Let's see. Maybe it's the other way around on this one. All right, this one seems to work better with the head facing backwards. So I don't know, maybe not all consistent. And then you can take his sword, give him that. His tail becomes his sword, which is really cool. And then you can take this, and you can kind of do whatever you want with it, but I like to put it into his arm there. And there you have Weirdwolf in his robot mode. Let's do over articulation on this guy. So the head is on that same joint, so you get a little bit of side to side, a little bit up to down. It does rotate all the way around. This one is pretty firmly in there. Rotates on this ball joint. It does get a little bit of side to side or a little bit of butterfly joint there. Rotation at the, I guess that's the elbow at this point. Nothing on the hand. I guess it does rotate upwards, but that's not really an articulation. You have a rotation at the waist. It's slightly hindered by this back piece here. By the way, this is painted, these red pieces here. On the thighs, you do have this yellow paint. And then this whole chest piece is painted yellow, which is quite nice. That makes him actually look really nice. Continuing down, you get a knee bend that goes well past 90 degrees just because of the sculpt. So that's nice. Rotation at the knee, not at the thigh, but still you get that. And continuing downwards, you have the ankles, which go up to there. It doesn't go too far back. If you go too far, you end up pulling that ball joint out of the joint. And you get a little bit of side to side here. So this one actually has ankle tilt and ankle pivot. So pretty good articulation on this guy. And for quick size comparison, there they are next to the Earthrise Optimus Prime. And they look good together. Of course, they're going to scale just like all the other Headmasters we've been getting. They fit in well with your existing retail or deluxe scale. So final thoughts on this set. I have a little bit of a mixed bag on these. So I'll start with the best. So Weirdwolf is definitely the best of all of the Headmasters we've gotten for, all 6 of them, at least the retro ones. He's got the most paint, having this entire chest painted, the feet or the legs here, the thighs. There's just a ton of paint on him. In addition, he's got the best articulation because of the ankle tilt and the ankle pivot. He tends to be the most dynamic, and he actually kind of looks the best too. So I'd highly recommend Weirdwolf for sure. I mean, he's just the most fun, honestly. Next out of these 3, I would say Highbrow. His only problem is the bobblehead thing. He does have some nice articulation, but without the ankle tilt or pivot, it's just a little bit awkward to pose him. Sometimes you end up putting his feet in weird positions. These guns are also a little bit loose in his hands, but you can kind of push him in and get him to stay. but he's definitely my second. And then very dead last is going to be Skullcruncher. Main issue with him is no articulation in the ankles, which really makes it hard because he's got barely any support. So he tends to fall backwards, or he tends to just be unbalanced. And it's just irritating to deal with that. Also, his knees sometimes pop out. So he's definitely my least favorite. I think he looks great, but just in terms of articulation and, fun factor, he's the least fun. But I definitely, if you are looking for repainted versions of these, and you haven't had the originals, then these are definitely fun. A good pickup from Walmart. So thanks for watching. That's it for today, and we'll see you next time.